It was a quiet night in a peaceful neighborhood. Streetlights flickered along empty sidewalks, and most residents were already asleep. But somewhere on that street, something unexpected was about to happen. A young man walked down the road, unaware that within minutes he would disappear, leaving behind only questions and confusion. What investigators later discovered on a nearby security camera would turn a simple missing person case into one of the most puzzling investigations the community had ever seen. This is the story of the night the cameras saw everything. The man at the center of the mystery was 26-year-old Daniel Harper. Daniel lived a quiet and predictable life. Friends described him as calm, responsible, and focused on his career. He worked as a technician at a small electronics company and spent most of his time either at work or with close friends. Nothing about Daniel's life suggested danger. He had no known enemies, no major financial issues, and according to the people who knew him best, he avoided trouble whenever possible, which made what happened next even more confusing. On a Friday evening, Daniel left his apartment around 9:30 p.m. Before leaving, he told a friend he was stepping out briefly to meet someone nearby. Security cameras from his apartment building captured him walking calmly out of the entrance and heading down the street. At the time, nothing about the footage seemed unusual, but that would become the last confirmed sighting of Daniel for hours. When midnight arrived and Daniel still hadn't returned home, his roommate started to worry. By the next morning, Daniel's phone was going straight to voicemail. His family tried calling. Friends began asking questions, but no one knew where Daniel had gone. After Daniel was reported missing, police quickly began their investigation. Detectives started by retracing his last known movements. They collected surveillance footage from nearby buildings, shops, and street cameras. For hours, investigators reviewed recordings from the neighborhood. At first, nothing unusual appeared, but then they noticed something strange. One camera showed Daniel walking alone down a quiet street. Seconds later, a dark vehicle slowly entered the frame behind him. At first glance, it looked like any other car passing through the area, but investigators would soon realize it might be one of the most important clues in the entire case. The car quickly became the focus of the investigation. Detectives enhanced the video to identify it. The footage suggested it was a dark-colored sedan, but unfortunately, the license plate was too blurry to read. Still, investigators searched through traffic cameras and nearby security systems to see if the same car appeared elsewhere. After several days of analysis, they discovered something surprising. The same vehicle had been recorded driving slowly through the neighborhood multiple times that night. That raised a serious question. Was the driver simply passing through, or were they watching Daniel? While reviewing Daniel's phone records, investigators uncovered another important clue. Just minutes before he disappeared, Daniel had received a text message. The message asked him to meet someone near the exact street where he was last seen, but the phone number wasn't saved in Daniel's contacts. When detectives traced the number, they discovered it belonged to a prepaid phone. Phones like these are difficult to track because they aren't connected to personal identities. However, investigators learned something interesting. The phone had been active in the same neighborhood several times before that night, which suggested that whoever sent the message was familiar with the area. By combining surveillance footage, phone records, and witness interviews, detectives built a clearer timeline. At 9:30 p.m., Daniel left his apartment. At 9:42 p.m., he was seen walking down the street, captured by the security camera. Moments later, the dark sedan appeared behind him. After that moment, Daniel vanished. No cameras captured where he went next. No witnesses reported seeing what happened. it was as if he had simply disappeared into the night. Weeks passed with little progress. Then, investigators received an unexpected tip. A local mechanic reported that someone had recently brought in a damaged car matching the description of the suspicious sedan. Police located the vehicle and began examining it carefully. Inside the car, investigators discovered small traces of evidence connecting the vehicle to the area where Daniel was last seen. That discovery finally gave detectives a major lead. The vehicle's owner was brought in for questioning. At first, the suspect denied being in the neighborhood that night. But when confronted with the surveillance footage and phone records, the story began to change. The suspect eventually admitted to arranging the meeting with Daniel using the prepaid phone. What followed that night led to a tragic chain of events investigators were finally able to piece together. The case served as a powerful reminder. Sometimes, the truth hides in the smallest details. A single text message, a brief moment on camera, a car passing quietly through the night. Individually, they may seem insignificant, but together, they can reveal the entire story.